Hey everyone, welcome back to Topher Drives, where this evening we're downtown Ann Arbor with a 2025 Lamborghini Revuelto, Lamborghini's newest V12 flagship. And don't worry, we will have a dedicated video to this car, a morning commute or something of the sorts, which probably actually went up before this video. But when I have a car like this, I can't only film one video on it. So I've brought it to downtown and I'm just being watched, I suppose, by all of these people in their apartments, and they're probably wondering why there's somebody walking around a car with a camera on their face, but it is for good reason, because we are going to be playing V12 noises tonight with this Revuelto. Now, this car's a pretty big deal because the Aventador has been around forever, and this replaces it. This is now the flagship Lamborghini, the V12, the 6.5 liter naturally aspirated V12 with 3 electric motors. In this Revuelto, combined power output 1,001 horsepower and 783 pound-feet of torque. Unlike the outgoing Aventador, this doesn't have the single clutch automated manual gearbox anymore. This now has an 8-speed DCT with one of the electric motors integrated into it. It's all-wheel drive, and it's got 2 electric motors on the front. So there's a lot of tech going on here. And while Lamborghini had plenty of time to do this, obviously, I remember when the Aventador came out, I think I was in middle school. And now I've gone through middle school, through high school, through college, and a bunch more time, and here we are now with this new flagship. Now, I got a little bit worried when I received the Monroney for this car a couple of days ago, because I thought, oh, well, Grigio Telesto, it's a very nice color, but it's not really that exciting. But before you attack me in the comments, let me just say, I think this is absolutely stunning. It's like a fighter jet. And let's not forget that Grigio Telesto is actually the color that Batman drove in The Dark Knight. Christian Bale drove a Grigio Telesto Murcielago LP640. But what his didn't have was Arancio Leonis interior. This is nuts. It's like sitting inside of a highlighter. So this is really cool. The Monroney says that this interior is finished in Nero Ade, which technically it is, and the Arancio Leonis is the contrasting color, but most of the interior is bright orange, so I don't know why it says that, but I'm very happy that this is the spec we have. We, of course, have some matching orange brake calipers with this car as well. It's quite the spec. The Revuelto starts at just over 600,000. It's like 604 grand. This thing as spec is $738,000. This has $134,000 in options, a lot of which is little exterior carbon bits. So we have like this corner of the door here, that's carbon fiber, the mirrors are carbon fiber, the intakes, the hood, it's all carbon fiber. The entire back of the car is carbon fiber. This is outfitted with, I think, just about every carbon fiber option you can put, and obviously we'll have the entire spec down in the description for you guys. But this has been one of those pinch me days. I can't believe my career has led up to this, that I get to live with a Revuelto for a couple of days, and I'm excited to take you guys out on this little ambient night drive. I don't have Barb with me today because I don't know that she would like all 1,001 horsepower that this thing puts out, but I want to say I love the styling, mainly because the back 3/4 bit kind of looks like a Countach. That works for me. And otherwise, it just looks like the Batmobile. It looks like I want a poster of this in my room, which is what a Lamborghini should be. So, like I said, we'll have a full dedicated video to this car. I don't want to spend 10 minutes walking around this thing like I usually do. We'll just go ahead and jump in. I mean, I can show you the engine here. You can pop this bit, but it doesn't really show you anything extra. It's got a frunk as well, which is decent. But let's just go ahead and jump in and start it up and go for a drive. Now, the one thing you have to be careful of with this car is that you give the glass enough time to retract. So there's a little door button under here. You hold that, the glass goes down, and you open the door. If you try to just hold the button and pull the door open, the glass catches on the weather stripping and you feel like you're gonna break it. So that's definitely something I've had to train myself to do this, I was gonna say this week, but I've only really had this car for the day so far, so I'm still kind of learning it. This is a bit of a first impressions video as well. We've got the Revuelto badge here illuminated on the door sill. Let's jump in this thing and start it up. Doors are actually pretty easy to close. They're not super heavy. And this is just the best in Lamborghinis, when you lift this little panel here like an actual fighter jet. And when you start the Revuelto, you notice a couple of things. For one, it defaults the screen to be the brightest thing in the entire world, so you have to go in here and you have to manually change that. Also, the car thinks it has a flat tire when it actually does not. I've confirmed a couple of times. There must be something wrong with the sensor on the right front, but all tires are good. The car thinks it has a flat. The first thing you have to do when you get in this car at night is go into the settings and manually dim the screen. You have to first make it brighter, then you make it dimmer. There you go. Now we are in our proper night mode. This does have wireless Apple CarPlay on this vertical tablet-style infotainment screen. We also have the optional Sonus Faber sound system, which, spoiler alert, sounds incredible. This is the first Lamborghini I've ever driven where I can actually work the infotainment system. I should say first Lamborghini supercar, because in the Urus it's just like an Audi Q8, it's fine. But first supercar Lamborghini I've driven where I can actually work the infotainment. That is very nice to see. Cluster's nice. Everything in here is new. I mean, this is a completely new car from the ground up. And you'll also notice the car's running, but we are in Cheetah mode, which means we're in EV mode. But if I use this red dial right here, I can put it into Strada. And that will bring our naturally aspirated 6.5 liter V12 to life. And lots of cooling fans and things too. Engine's got to warm up. Let that do its thing. We've got a little shelf behind both seats and a little bit of netting where I've kept my parking ticket to get out of the garage. So let's go ahead and put this into drive. Do that by selecting the right paddle. Turn the parking brake off, which is down by your left knee. Now, having never driven an Aventador, I don't really have anything to compare this to besides a Huracan, but I know that's in a completely different class and it's pointless to even compare it to that. But from what I've seen and from what I've heard, obviously a lot of my very good friends have driven Aventadors. They say this is a lot more smoothed out, which I believe, because right off the bat, I mean, you don't notice any lurchiness or anything weird from this 8-speed DCT, which means this car is pretty easy to drive. If we go back into Cheetah mode, it shuts off the V12 altogether, and you've actually got 6 miles of electric range from this 3.8 kilowatt hour battery in the Revuelto. You can just sneak along. I think the biggest pro here with this is if you want to be a nice neighbor, I guess. You want to be able to leave your house early in the morning to go be a doctor or whatever. Cheetah assists you with that. And I love when you're in EV mode. The little E that's displayed on the cluster has horns in proper Lamborghini fashion. Just to show you it's still a Revuelto, even when it's in EV mode. Visibility out of this is not the best, and excuse me while I try not to rip the side of the car off here.
Please insert your ticket with the barcode facing up.
Turn signals are on the steering wheel, like any other Lamborghini, and we do actually have a front end lift, but I think I've got enough clearance here. Yep, I am all good. And these will auto cancel. Do a quick press for 3 flashes, or you hold it and it'll do an actual full turn. All right, let's take this out of Cheetah. We'll let the person in this WRX park. It's a pink WRX. Very nice. I think I'm going to go straight to sport mode. Now, sport does not give you the entire 1,001 horsepower. You have to work with only, I think it's like 850 horsepower or something like that, which does actually feel like a pretty good level in this car. The full 1,001, it's really something. I just filmed the Winding Road Day Drive on this, and my goodness, this thing was spinning all 4 of its wheels at like 80 miles an hour. It's really something. You definitely have to let these tires warm up, and I do actually appreciate having this tire display here to let me know what temperature all the tires are at. But if you don't want that, you can scroll to other things like temperature gauges, which I also very much like having in a Lamborghini. I know they don't catch on fire as much as Ferraris, but it's still good to have. Put these windows up, which, unlike a Huracan, oh, only one of them went up. Which, hello? Come on. Okay. What I was trying to say before that window switch decided to stop working for a second is, unlike a Huracan, they're not on the dashboard. Very confusing. They're just on the door panel here, which is quite good. Now this little section of road is quite bumpy, but luckily I've got another dial on the steering wheel to change the ride, because of course this has adaptive dampers. So even if I'm in Sport or Corsa, I can put my dampers into soft and still ride around in a somewhat comfy manner. The ride quality on this car is pretty good. I wouldn't say it's McLaren soft, but it does the trick. Honestly, this car is more livable than I ever thought it would be. It's a bit big, so on this road passing a Chevy Spark right now, I am slightly clenched. Okay. Oh, we're good. It's fine. Everything is fine. We're getting this out of the city and then onto some decent roads, and we'll make some noise. It sounds similar to the Aventador, but it's a little bit different. Now, we had to expect this because this is new. It's hybridized now, and Lamborghini likes to say it's the first hybrid ultra high performance car, which we can let them have that, even though it isn't, but we can let them have that. I just love the idea of them thinking about making a hybrid and then keeping a V12. Like, how cool is that? I remember back when Jeremy Clarkson had the Aventador on Top Gear back when it first came out, he was quoted saying, like, this will probably be the last V12 Lamborghini. But here we are, in an entire new generation with a brand new V12. So, you gotta respect Lamborghini for keeping it real with the V12 in this car. Anyway, though, just wanted to give you guys some daily driving impressions before I completely shut up and we listen to the V12. But just to show you, it can do cities, it's fine. I think I started talking about visibility earlier and then stopped. What I like about this is you can actually see out of the rearview mirror. So that helps. Side view mirrors are pretty good. Frontward visibility is okay. You're just so far away from the windshield. It's sometimes hard to judge where the front end of the car is. Luckily, you have a multitude of cameras to help you not smash the front end of the car off. Stick these windows down again. Now we're going to stay in sport, but I'm going to put this 8-speed into manual. You can achieve that by pressing the M down here on your shifter. You can use these big column-mounted paddle shifters. Sometimes when you downshift, you get what sounds like an explosion, like somebody striking a hot piece of iron. It's insane. I love the theatrics of this car, and I love that they've kept that alive. It's so Italian of them. Yes, we'll make a hybrid, and then the hybrid part is only to make it go faster. That's so Italian. Oh, also, we're going to turn that guy off. Hi. One other thing you should know is that the Speedo's very optimistic. I mean, anywhere between 5 to 10 miles an hour over what you're actually going at all times. So really, I'm not actually going the speed that you see. That's just the truth. here on the steering wheel. That's cool. And we got to get some heat in these tires. It's just spinning them. And we're not going to go into full Corsa until we have a little bit more heat in there. That was all four wheels spinning. It's one of those cars where the power is I was going to say borderline unusable. It's straight up unusable. You can't push this car anywhere. Luckily, the brakes are fantastic. Obviously, these are carbon ceramics. They do a very good job. Let's turn our auto brights on, see how those work. Downshifts are magical in this car. Everything, all inputs. Very smooth. Oh, hold on a second. Important work. Hold both paddles for neutral. Ah! It won't let you rev in neutral? Come on! What kind of flagship Lamborghini is this? All right, well, we can put it in neutral while we're stopped, I suppose, here. And it limits you to 3,000 RPM. Okay, well, I tried to make sounds under the tunnels there, but unfortunately we failed. Let's go into Corsa. Why not? Revs to 9,500 RPM. So it revs higher than the outgoing Aventador and higher than pretty much, I think, anything I've ever driven. I mean, this is like sport bike territory, revving to nearly 10,000 RPM. Obviously, it's hard to fly under the radar with a car like this as well, even in Grigio Telesto, which is just basically primer colored. The exuberant nature of the design outweighs any color. And it revs up so fast. I was watching other videos of people driving Revueltos, and I kept seeing them miss gears, and I'm like, how could you miss the gear? It arrives so quickly, and you're wanting to obviously pay attention to everything out the windshield. It is easy to miss gears in this car. There's a flap that opens just before 4,000 RPM. The propulsion between gears from the electric motors is insane. It's terrifying because you have what you think is even throttle input, and then it's almost like it gives you a boost between gears, and it unsettles the whole car. Active aero in the back also helping when you're on the brakes. Lexus LC500, which is a car that sounds bonkers, but in comparison is nowhere near as quick. So I mean, you can just wind it out forever and you're really not going that quick. But this car, I can't even get through a gear without just doing like ridiculous speeds. It's unbelievable. It's so quick. One of the fastest cars I've ever driven. Damping for the train tracks here. Very easy to just kind of configure everything on the fly. I do love that. Brights are blinding people. Let's just get rid of those. Parking aid fault. I hope you guys are able to enjoy this kind of in the mid-range, not screaming at 9,000 the entire time, though I have tried to push it a couple of times, but there's only so much we can really do. The V12 is so loud in the cabin. Obviously because it's there, it's right there. But honestly, sometimes it's nice to just go into Cheetah and make your Revuelto an EV. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's put the V12 back. We'll go sport. NVH on the highway? You know what's funny? This car is actually just on a very kind of plain Jane set of Bridgestone Potenza Sports, which I think is the coolest thing. It's got a 265 in the front and a 345 in the rear. So it's got some big meats to put down all 1,000 horsepower. Tires make a little bit of noise. I mean, any car like this is gonna have some highway noise. It's kind of just unavoidable. But it cruises no problem here. Insane. There's no other real way to describe this other than pure insanity. Your eyes go somewhere, the car goes there immediately in such a quick fashion that, I mean, there's really very, very few cars on the market right now that are as fast, as quick as this. But the coolest thing about this one is you get to listen to a V12 while you're breaking the sound barrier. Not as fast as Jetta's though, obviously. I've always wanted to do that in a V12 Lambo. Let's go. What a machine. Is just otherworldly. I think what Lamborghini's done so well here is blended the past and the future. They've kept their heritage, they've kept the V12, they've kept that soundtrack, and yet they've electrified it. They've made it drive so much smoother. They've made it livable, which, I mean, to some people that might not be as attractive, but I love that even with modern standards, this is still a big ornery V12 Lamborghini. Oh, man. All right. That is just about gonna do it for this one. But just wanted to go out and drive this thing some before I have to give a proper review on it, which you guys have already probably seen, but we're kind of doing this backwards. Figured I would take you all with me on my kind of like development of feelings drive for this car. So, you know, not our typical thing, but also a lot of you like the night drives, so here we are. We're killing two birds with one stone. But that's going to do it. I think we're just going to end this one on the road today. So thank you guys all so much for watching. Let me know if I left anything out. Well, I'm sure there were lots of things left out because this was a first impressions video, but you guys can discuss in the comments what you think of this car. Would you have this over an Aventador? What's your favorite flagship Lamborghini? This is the only one I've ever driven, so I guess that makes it my favorite. But that's going to do it for me this evening in the Revuelto. See you guys real soon in the next video.